Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a tutorial on how I achieved this wig, or how I made this wig. I am completely natural, and whenever I'm doing my protective styles, I try as best as I can to not have any of my own hair exposed. So this was just another protective style that I did, and I have a closure, as you can tell, or as you can see, I have a closure. Really quick, I'm just gonna break down the products that I use before we jump into the tutorial. The hair that I use to make the wig is actually Remi Brazilian Hair that I found on sale. The beauty supply store that I usually go to was having like this ridiculous sale, and I was able to get 2 packs of Remi Brazilian Hair for $17.99. And it's the OUTRE BEAT Brazilian Remi Hair, and this is what the packaging looks like. And it says on the back that it is 100% Remi human hair. I can tell you that it feels really soft, and it has a little bit of density and volume to it, so it doesn't feel like limp hair. It definitely feels like really top quality human hair, which is really cool. I got 2 packs of this, and I got them both in 10 inches, and I was able to use a pack and a half of hair, roughly a pack and a half of hair, to make this wig unit. So this is all the hair that I have left right here, guys. This is all the hair that I have left from 2 packs of Remi, and as you can probably tell, it's very full, very lifelike, and very bouncy. I use a dome cap to sew the hair onto, and this is the dome cap that I use. It's just a regular stretch dome cap, and I bought 2 of them, and this was $1.99 at my beauty supply store. So the hair that I use for my closure is the Goddess by Sensationell hair, and it is 100% Remi hair as well, and it is a 3-way closure, and this is what the packaging looks like. Unfortunately, you guys, I can't show you the closure because it is in my head currently, but this is what the packaging looks like. And this is not my first wig unit that I've made. This is actually my 3rd that I've made on my own, and for every one that I've made, I've used this brand of closure just because I find that it's exceptional. It's affordable, but it's really great quality hair. It is a lace based closure, and I really like how the hair is laid onto the lace, and it falls really naturally and everything like that. And as I said, it's a 3-way closure, so you can definitely play along with the closure. You can split it and then use your hair for leave out, or you can leave it whole like I did and have the closure that looks like a natural part. The other thing that I used when I was making the wig are the Goody hair bands, and all I did with that was just kind of reinforce the perimeter of my wig, and you're going to see that in the video. All I did was kind of sew it down to the front closure so I could lay the band flat against my scalp, and that will help the wig to be more secure. And I really like the way that it turns out. I think that eventually I'm going to cut it a little bit more. And this is 10 inches. Like I said before, I did not trim it at all. The way that you see the hair right now is the way that it looked when it came out of the bag, and the length that it was when it came out of the bag. There is no cutting and no trimming. Alright, you guys, so I think I've done enough talking, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this tutorial. Please don't forget to thumbs this video up if you want to see any more tutorials, and please don't forget to subscribe. Mwah. Hey guys, so the first thing that I'm doing, I'm just making a little mark along the dome cap, and this is just for my personal preference. I use it as a guide so I know exactly where I want the closure to be, and all I'm doing is securing the closure down with one hand while I sew with the other. If you have any T-pins or any kind of pins to hold the closure in place, then please go ahead and do so. I did not have that luxury, so I had to make do with my hands. And one thing that I like to do whenever I'm sewing my closure, I do not start directly on the very edge of the lace. I know a lot of people do that, but in my experience, it causes the lace to stretch and sometimes to rip, and I really don't want that. So I start about a 1/4 inch up from the edge of the lace and I sew my closure down. Another thing is you don't want to sew the closure in one continuous loop, like with one continuous thread or whatever. You want to sew half at a time. So I sew half of that closure and I knot it right there at the bottom like I'm doing now. And then I flip it over on the other side and I sew it down and meet it in the middle. So this is the completed closure. And as you can see, it is not very pretty, but I guarantee you it is very, very secure on that dome cap. That closure is not going anywhere. I can guarantee you that. So what I'm doing now, I'm just flipping over that dome cap because now we're going to sew a piece of hair along the inside perimeter of that dome cap so that if we wanted to put our hair up in a ponytail, or if we had our wig on and the breeze was blowing and it lifted the back of your hair up, everybody's not going to see that, oh, it's a wig. It's going to look as if it's growing out of your own hair. You know, it's just to make it aesthetically pleasing so people you don't walk around and potentially show like the band of that dome cap. That's all that's for. I'm gonna take you to another dimension. This is the only time that I cut my tracks. I never ever cut my tracks at all because it minimizes shedding and it just kind of extends the life of your hair in general. So this is what the hair looks like with the band of the hair sewn on the inside of the dome cap. Hopefully you guys kind of get what I was talking about when I was saying, you know, like if it flips up or anything like that. So here I am just continuing to sew my tracks as normal. Like I said, I do not cut them at all. I use the fold over method and start a new track as I go. So I'm just looping that thread in on itself right there and making sure that it makes a nice secure knot at the base of the weft. I like to sew through my weft. I know some people like to sew underneath the weft and like loop it over. I prefer to sew it through. In my opinion, it's a lot more secure that way. It's a lot more time consuming as well, but you know, it's for peace of mind. I just like to do it that way. It's my personal preference. I'm gonna take you to another dimension. I'm gonna take you to another dimension. To another. I'm gonna take you to another dimension. I'm gonna take you to another dimension. I'm gonna take you to another dimension. So this is the completed unit, and all in all it took me about an hour and 15 minutes to sew this completely all the way up to the top. So what I'm going to do right now, I am going to thin out that closure just a little bit to make it look more natural. So I am using just some tweezers that I have lying around, and I'm not going to pluck the hair out of the closure. Remember, this is lace and it can tear, it can rip because lace is, you know, a fabric. So I actually just kind of grab a few strands in my tweezer and just pull down the strands very gently, and that kind of pulls the hair out from the lace without having to actually yank it and potentially destroy your closure and destroy that lace. And you kind of have to eyeball this. You don't want it too wide and you don't want it too thin because you want to make it look as natural as possible. So you kind of have to eyeball this and kind of know when it's a good stopping point. I'm gonna take you to another dimension. I'm gonna take you to another dimension. I'm gonna take you to another dimension. So this is all the hair that I have left after I thin that closure out. Not very much at all. I'm gonna take you to. And then I went ahead and just cut that piece of the dome cap off underneath the closure, and I attached my goodie bands around the perimeter of my closure. And again, that just makes sure it's secure and nicely laid flat on your scalp. So all you have to do now is put it on.
Take you to another dimension.